I believe that getting free from stuttering at the end of the day is all about creating new positive speaking experiences. So yeah, the exercises, the techniques are all great, but we need to use them to create speaking experiences. There is no way to change our speaking without actually speaking. And I see this again and again and again in myself included, that we want to change our speaking. We're ready to do the exercises, to use some technique, whatever. But you see, they're not matching. We're doing the exercises, but we want to change our speaking without actually speaking. And just to make it clear, when you're just pronouncing sounds, doing your exercises, this is not speaking. When you face another person, that is speaking. Speaking is interaction with the speaking environment. When you're sitting with yourself, you're interacting with yourself, not with the speaking environment. But how in the world can I create positive speaking experiences if I stutter, you might ask? That's a great question. So let's take a look. Stay tuned. I remember myself like 14 years ago in the therapy, in the speech therapy. So we're doing the exercises, we're gaining new experiences, and at some point the therapist says, okay, tomorrow we're going outside to ask strangers directions. And I felt like, no way, not me, that's not happening to me. So I had this feeling that I am ready to do the exercises 100 times, 1,000 times. I can work hard, I'm ready to work hard, but I'm not ready to go for these speaking experiences. And you see, I think I'm very good at logic. Don't think so. But our logic somehow works that we believe that by doing exercises, we can change our speaking. So without actual speaking, we don't want to get to that level of the speaking level where we speak. And that's natural, I think, because if we remember the stuttering iceberg, the very core of the stuttering iceberg contains stuttering fear and avoidance behaviors, right? We don't want to speak. Actually, our stuttering doesn't want to speak technically, because that's part of our stuttering. Stuttering doesn't let us get to that point where we speak. We become masters of avoidance. And so we learn to avoid speaking. But at the same time, we want to change, we want to improve. So we start that improvement journey with the idea of doing what it takes, but not speaking actually. So this happened to me. Please let me know in the comments, does this happen to you? Do you feel that this is the case for you as well? So let's talk about how do we create positive speaking experiences. So we have the stuttering iceberg. Remember, the top of the iceberg, speech impediments. The core of the iceberg, stuttering fear, avoidance behaviors, and desire to hide our stuttering, our speech impediments. So I think it's pretty clear about the negative speaking experiences. When someone comes to you and say, hey buddy, who's that girl? And you say, you know that this is Kate Jefferson, Bill's girlfriend. And you want to say it, but you can't. So you decide to avoid saying it, to replace it by saying, I don't know. And while saying, I don't know, you still get stuck. So that's both like minus, minus, negative, negative. You are avoiding the speaking contact and you still struggle with your speech impediment. Definitely a negative speaking experience. Now let's take the next example. The same guy is coming to you, says, and asks, hey buddy, who's that girl? And you know that this is Kate Jefferson, that she's Bill's girlfriend, and you want to say that, but then you decide that there are too many words that you can block, so you decide to say, I don't know. And you manage to say it. You say it fluently. You don't get stuck. You don't stutter. So the avoidance behavior, yes. Hiding it, yes. Stuttering fear, yes. So the core is negative. The speech, in terms of speech impediments, it was kind of positive, but I wouldn't call it a positive speaking experience because stuttering is there. You just escaped your block, but you didn't escape the stuttering. The stuttering was there in your answer, in your avoidance, in your stuttering fear. Now, the positive speaking experiences, like the definite positive speaking experiences, are also pretty clear. When the guy is coming to you, says, who's that girl, buddy? And you say, this is Kate Jefferson, Bill's girlfriend. And he said, oh yeah, thank you. So you're not avoiding anything. You're not hiding. You're not running away. You're saying what you want to say, and you say it without any issues, right? Without any speech impediments. Positive, perfect, right? So how do we get to those positive speaking experiences? I'm a big fan of moving step by step. And before getting to that, it's Kate Jefferson, it's Bill's girlfriend. Where do we start? Of course, we start like a seed, with the seed of confidence, meditation, working with our body, our mind, can be speaking exercises, breathing exercises, singing, whatever. So we do something at home. I'm a big fan of the hand stuttering technique, so we play with some phrase at home, just using our hand. I can see you, okay? Oh, where do you live, Mr. Dawson? So we just use our hand for that, right? Right. Where do you live, Mr. Dawson? Then we use like 5 fingers for that. For example, like, where do you live, Mr. Dawson? Okay, we play with some phrases, right? It's not yet speaking. We don't have not much of those emotions. So it's mostly on the physical level. We give our body the confidence that I can say it in a relaxing, in a powerful, inexpressive way. So we learn, we put a seed of confidence there. Then the next step, we'll get on a video call where we do it kind of in the classroom, kind of in a comfort zone, but there we have certain emotions, certain anxiety, certain level of anxiety. So we get to the next level of positive speaking experiences. This is a speaking experience now. We're speaking to somebody else. Then we make it just a bit harder. We role play different situations, like you're calling a bookstore, you're coming to the supermarket, you're asking a stranger. It's still the video call, it's still the comfort of a classroom, but that's the next level of anxiety. We're role-playing something. And then we get to the point where we get confident enough to make a real-life phone call, still using our hands. So we try to transfer our confidence further, and we also do different kinds of activities with the higher level of anxiety, speaking live in our Facebook group, emulating this feeling of a public speaking. So we create different types of speaking experiences with pretty much anxieties. And now that's the most important thing. Along the way, of course, it happens all the time. We try to create this speaking experience. It might be getting on a video call. It might be having a new person in the video call. It might be a role play in the phone call, in the video call. It might be going for a phone call. It might be going live, emulating public speaking. In each of those cases, it will definitely happen. This will happen. We are creating a speaking situation. We are positive in terms of facing our stuttering fear. We're not avoiding it, we're going for it. But we might be not that good at our speaking. We might get stuck. We might feel some difficulty. We might feel speech impediment. So in terms of the core of the stuttering iceberg, we're positive. Everything is great. But there is still something negative about the very speech impediment. And now we came to the most important point of this whole video. How do you feel about these experiences? Are they positive speaking experiences or are they negative speaking experiences? And that's a big question, because depending on how you deal with this, how you approach these experiences, it can change everything on your way to freedom from stuttering. I think it's very important to realize that you're not just doing it, like, okay, I'll do it, I can do it, I can face my fears, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you gain some confidence. Well, that's a great thing to do. I'm supportive of that as well, but you see, it's really important to see that speaking experience as a step in a sequence of steps. It's really important to understand where it's leading you. It's really important to feel that you're learning something and what you're learning, how you're growing, where you're going. Imagine a brick. You can put it on the road, nice brick on the road, or you can put it onto the wall and it becomes a part of a wall of a beautiful building. That's a different feeling you're having. So it's not just a random brick, it's not just a random speaking experience. This is a step towards your freedom from stuttering. And what really makes all the difference is our approach to those speaking experiences when it's really hard to determine whether they're positive or negative. And we can view them as negative, and we can come back and say it's not working, nothing is working. We can use those experiences as an excuse of not going any further. At the same time, there is no moving forward without these experiences, which I view, and I encourage you to view them as positive speaking experiences. When you face your fears, when you don't avoid the speaking, when you create actually the speaking situation where you use your technique, if you're using some technique, or maybe you try to be spontaneous, you try to be natural, whatever. When you find something that works for you, again, I'm preaching about the hand stuttering technique because it gives us both the support like a technique, but at the same time it's not interfering, it doesn't interfere the natural flow of our speaking. It's like playing football. You see, yeah, run, pass, the fundamentals are important and we need to work on them. But at the end of the day, we can't learn to play football without actually playing football. We want to get to the field and to play there. Same with our speaking. Everything that we do at home in the classroom, it's awesome, that's great. But we want to get to actual speaking. That's where we really learn. And we never do it perfectly the first time. You never play football perfectly the first time you get to the field. But you need to show up and show up and show up to improve. That's why I'm a big fan of this hand stuttering technique, because it gives us reason to go and create speaking situations. It gives us, at the same time, gives us the support to create positive speaking experiences in those speaking situations. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comment. Tell me, do you create speaking experiences? Do you create new positive speaking experiences? How do you view these experiences where you go for it and you're not so great with your speaking? For more videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Join Free from Stutter Facebook group where we have speaking club, where we go with live speakings, where we emulate this public speaking environment, where we actually try to create those positive speaking experiences in front of you, and you can participate there as well. And yeah, see you in the next video.